It's afternoon baseball in New York. A chilly afternoon as the Pirates get ready to take on the New York Mets in the finale and the rubber match of this three-game series. Pirates won on Memorial Day 5-3, suffered a 4-2 loss last night. Charlie Morton takes the hill today, Greg Brown, along with Bob Walk. And Charlie Morton got that elusive first win his last time out, Bob, against the Washington Nationals. He didn't go deep in the game, but he get the W for Charlie Morton.
Yeah, Charlie seems to be really having to work hard to get through innings this year. You know, getting through them pretty good, but at the same time, the pitch count gets elevated. He can't really go deep into some of these games. And I'm just wondering, especially watching a couple of these strikeout swings and misses that we're going to look at. You saw the first one. Watch the location of this one here, fastball up in the zone. Is Charlie kind of getting away from just trying to be a sinker baller? That might be one of the reasons that pitch count is beginning to get elevated every fifth day.
108 pitches to be exact on Friday, so that's why he was limited to 5 2/3 innings, the 1 run, 4 walks. Career Citi Field, couple of starts, ERA of 2.45.
He does do a good job in this ballpark. You can see the ERA. He likes it here. I would love to see him go back to just getting ground balls this afternoon.
Charlie Morton looking for his second straight win, and the Pirates looking for another series win. Can't look back. Get back on track. Get a W against the New York Mets here at Citi Field. We'll talk about the Pirates' opponent, Bartolo Colon, coming up next. Charlie Morton for Pittsburgh, and he'll be opposed by Bartolo Colon, who turned 41 years old on Saturday. He is the oldest pitcher in the major leagues. But Bob Walk he's still going, 3-5, 5.34 ERA. His last official start, May 17th, got the win against the Washington Nationals.
Yeah, he's still going. He has lost a little bit off that fastball, though. He's not quite thrown as hard as he did even just last year. And the fastball is a very important pitch to him. His numbers aren't that good, but still, if you look at what he's been doing here in this ballpark, not too bad. So it could be tough on us this afternoon.
He'll throw strikes, 6 walks in 57 innings for Bartolo Colon. Let's go back to Pittsburgh. Rob King, our studios for a game break. the Mets last night. The former Pirate talking to a couple of former teammates here at Citi Field on a cool afternoon. And ready to play ball as the Pirates look to win another series. A lot of youngsters on hand today at Citi Field, a kids' day. And this is the lineup for Clint Hurdle's Pirates, brought to you by Toyota. Josh Harrison will lead off. Neil Walker, an 8-game hitting streak and batting .375 during this stretch. Andrew McCutchen hits third. Ike Davis back in the cleanup spot. Starling Marte bats fifth with Alvarez in the sixth hole. Jordy Mercer, Chris Stewart, Charlie Morton round out the starting 9 for Pittsburgh.
Well, Bartolo Colon is definitely a fastball pitcher. Loves to throw fastballs. 3 out of 4 of his pitches will be fastballs, but he does not throw the ball very hard. And as he's getting older, the fastball is even slowing down a little more. He likes to get the ball upstairs and get flyouts. But he hasn't been getting enough of those outs, as you can see by that ERA 5.34. Although this ballpark is a good place for a fly ball pitcher. Not a lot of home runs get hit here.
And his defense looks like this. Talking about the fly balls. Juan Lagares in center, Chris Young in left, Curtis Granderson in right. They can all go get the ball. Ruben Tejada, Daniel Murphy up the middle, David Wright, Lucas Duda on the corners. Juan Centeno catches Bartolo Colon. Center fielder Lagares, very outstanding defensive center fielder, and a fine catch leaping at the fence, robbing McCutchen of extra bases.
Plays a shallow center field.
Very. And a strike, we're underway. Strike is called on Josh Harrison, 0 for 4 last night and 0 for 9 in the series.
Already you get a good look at the style. Fastballs, high 80s at best, 88 probably the average. Try to move it in and out, up and down.
It's really fun to watch, actually. Turned 41 years old on Saturday. As we said, the oldest pitcher now in the major leagues. As Harrison fouls it back and out of play. Colon listed at 5'11", 285 pounds. He's a throwback. He just kind of rocks and deals. Mets signed him to a 2-year, $20 million contract over the winter. And he strikes out Harrison looking.
All it did was throw 5 straight fastballs at 88, 89 mile an hour. Makes it look easy, doesn't it?
Yeah, he really does. He's just in that rocking chair, and he just flings it. And perfect pitch. Rivers Casino tips to win from Bob.
Well, beauty before age. You have a 41-year-old pitcher with a 5 ERA. You would think he could score some runs early. That would be beautiful. No deep counts for Charlie. Kind of talked about that early on. I'd like to see him get a lot of 2-3 pitch ground ball outs. That would be great. And if Charlie is doing that, getting the ground balls, we got to catch him. Got to play the good defense in the infield.
Neil Walker, 1 for 3 with a walk last night. Fouls the pitch back. It's 0-2. You'll see a lot of these 0-2 counts, you would think, or at least Colon trying to get ahead. He doesn't walk anybody. 6 total in 57 1/3 innings. Gives up a lot of hits, tied for the 5th most hits in the National League. A lot of runs. He's given up 34 runs.
It's so much about more than just about walking people within his control. He does a great job of being able to stay out of the middle of the plate. He just works the edges. And it's a result, too, of his decision to go mainly with just fastballs. It's a lot easier to hit spots when you're not trying to make the ball move, when you're just trying to throw fastballs, just throwing darts.
Does he remind you of anybody, Bob, that you can think of either past or present? Just throwing it. Clint Hurdle talked today about in terms of percentage of fastballs. He went back to like a Goose Gossage, but
Well, see, that's what I'm trying to think of. There, it's easy to come up with guys that threw a ton of fastballs, but they all had great fastballs, and that's why they threw them.
Pop up, lazily hit to Lagares, 2 outs.
And a lot of other guys that were like that are fastball changeup guys. I'm trying to think, like say a Tom Browning, for a left-hander. He threw a lot of fastballs. Wasn't a hard thrower. Got a lot of flyouts. Maybe a similar type.
It is rare. And a quick strike on Andrew McCutchen. Has to be frustrating for hitters.
Ollie Stone's fastball is whole inning. And it's not a power fastball, but he's been all about the edges.
He's thrown 11 pitches, 11 strikes. And he misses.
And out of those 11 strikes, I'll bet you 8 or 9 of them were right on the edge, kind of like where that first pitch was.
Actually, I was going to say he didn't not throw a strike there either, but it was called a ball by the home plate umpire Jeff Nelson.
All 3 of these pitches, according to a computer strike zone, I think would be strikes. He's just right on the edge. He just hadn't got a couple of calls.
Well, there's the first one that is legitimately out of that strike zone, that grid. And now it's 3-1. Full count. And don't be deceived by Colon. He does the other things well in terms of fielding his position.
Yeah, being 285, maybe a little closer to 3 than that. Doesn't necessarily seem he can't do anything out there. And a lot of pitchers that look like they might not be in the best shape are kind of like that.
The ground ball to the shortstop, and it's going to be perhaps an infield hit, but McCutchen reaches. And as Tejada, his throw pulls Duda off the bag and might have been late anyway. Base hit for Andrew McCutchen.
Like Tejada spent a little extra time getting the grip.
Full sprint down the line, not even a peek.
Yeah, that's what you do.
So
if you look over your shoulder, you're costing yourself, maybe 6 or 7 inches.
So many players do that too.
They're curious.
Yeah, they have to know.
They have to know. Hey, run it through the bag. You'll find out afterwards.
And now Ike Davis, pinch hitter last night and struck out. He takes ball 1 from Colon. The former Met, who was 0 for 2 with a walk on Monday and was pleasantly surprised by the positive reaction he received when he was announced to the plate. And a strike 1-1. Davis hitting .294 as a bucko with a .390 on base percentage. One ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, just underway. And Bartolo Colon's next offering misses.
Something besides a fastball finally. Looked like a changeup.
Jeff Nelson, the crew chief, calls the balls and strikes. Scott Berry is at first, Las Diaz at second, and Clint Fagan, who was the home plate umpire last night, is now at third. 2 balls and a strike. 3-1. Another changeup, maybe, huh? What's going on here, Bartolo?
Somebody on base.
His last start was washed out. He actually pitched 4 innings, but rain washed out the game against the Diamondbacks 5 days ago. And the other way for Young. And that'll do it. Infield hit for McCutchen. He's left stranded at the bottom of the first. Charlie Morton takes the hill. Even this series at a game apiece. This is his lineup. Brought to you by Honda. Juan Lagares, Daniel Murphy, and David Wright. David Wright hitting .336 this month. Curtis Granderson hits cleanup. Chris Young gets his first start of this series at left. Lucas Duda at first. Ruben Tejada, Juan Centeno, and Bartolo Colon facing Charlie Morton. Lagares was 2 for 5 and drove in a pair of runs last night. 3 for 8 in the series. And ball 1.
Just 1 win so far, but the ERA is in good shape. You look at that and you think, wow, how can he be 1-6? It's not just one reason he's not. There's been some non-run support. There's been some poor defense played behind him.
Lagares misses the bunt attempt, 1-2.
Giving up a whole lot of unearned runs. If it was just a run average, it would be up there a little bit, and that would explain more of why he's 1-6.
A breaking ball there, 2-2. Interesting question you had though, Bob. In our open, we don't know this. We will watch closely today, but is Morton getting away from being that true ground ball pitcher? Is that why his pitch count is being spiked?
We're seeing an awful lot of curveballs from him. We're seeing inside fastballs to lefties, trying to kind of backdoor the sinker, come in and catch the inside corner.
And there's a chopper toward third. Alvarez on to Davis.
He got the ground ball out, but it's a 6-pitch out, and that's one of the things that Charlie, I think, could do is if he got real aggressive with that sinker in the strike zone early in the count, he's going to get ground balls put in play on the 2nd, 3rd pitch. They'll have an opportunity to get some real quick outs that way. So maybe 7 or 8, 9 pitch innings.
Well, the 6th pitch to Lagares, a grounder to Alvarez. And now Daniel Murphy. First pitch swinging. Murphy a couple of hits last night. 3 for 8 in the series. He has 65 hits this season. The second baseman for the Mets, Daniel Murphy, and that ties him with Paul Goldschmidt of the Diamondbacks for the most hits in the National League. Oh, 2. Morton, along with Ian Kennedy, the Padres, and the Diamondbacks, Trevor Cahill and Brandon McCarthy, all saddled with 6 losses, most in the league. Stays 0-2 as Murphy fouled off the fastball.
High fastball. That's not down at the knees where you're going to get a ground ball. That's elevated where you're going to get a foul ball.
And time is called. See, Chris Stewart is suggesting curveball. And it misses.
Good spot, good pitch. I like that. It's 0-2. Throw that hook back foot. You got to throw something other than sinkers. But now, don't worry too much about trying to get strikeouts. Just
into left center field. That'll fall.
I think that was a changeup or splitter, wasn't it?
I think so. So he hits the changeup into left center field. Now David Wright, who was 0 for 4 last night and is 0 for 8 in the series. Charlie Morton will certainly look to get Wright to hit a ground ball. Wright is 3 for 10 in his career against Morton. David Wright with 64 hits this season, 3rd in the league. Murphy has stolen 9, caught twice. Trying to keep Murphy close, anticipating they'll have him running at some point. Murphy had a good success rate last year, 23 steals and 26 attempts. That appeal, and the first base umpire said he didn't offer. Ball 1.
Well, still, I like that pitch. It was a conventional two-seam sinker down in the strike zone. It got a little too far inside, but that's what you're going to get ground balls with.
Two balls, no strikes. David Wright, the all-time hits leader in Mets franchise history. And now it is 3 balls and no strikes.
Yeah, that situation there, I was watching the signs and they went fastball away. I don't know if Charlie's control is fine enough to where in the first inning of a ball game he should be trying to hit corners with 2-0 pitches.
In other words,
or 3-0. With all that movement, just throw a low strike. Low strike. Stay out of deep counts. Stay away from. If you don't ever get the ball 3, you don't walk people.
And he walked David Wright. 2 on with 1 away. Well, walks have been an issue really for both clubs. Not for the Pirates in Game 1. On Memorial Day, the Pirates pitchers issued just a pair of walks. But last night, 7 free passes for Pirates pitchers. Mets pitchers walked 8. In fact, the Mets pitchers have combined to walk 15 batters the first 2 games of this series. Now Curtis Granderson. He drew a walk last night, 0 for 3. And it's ball 1. Granderson 0 for 6 in the series. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. And now Chris Stewart's going to talk with Charlie Morton.
Well, Charlie now, he's thrown a third of an inning. He's got 1 out in the game. And he's already thrown 18 pitches. With that last pitch, that was a 1-0 curveball. All he should be doing is he's got a good curveball with a ton of movement. You see how much it breaks. It's a big breaker. If he throws that ball in the strike zone below the waist, I mean, that's all he should be trying to do with it right there. Get the ball down in the strike zone.
Now it's 3-0.
The location of that curveball, the 1-0 curveball that missed, that would be where you're trying to throw an 0-2 curveball.
And he got the strike call thanks to Jeff Nelson.
3-0, a lot of times the strike zone's a little bigger. They'll give you a break on a 3-0 pitch. 3-1, he probably doesn't get that same pitch called a strike.
And into center, McCutchen coming over and makes the catch. Granderson flies out on the 3-1 pitch, 2 away. And Morton will face Chris Young. This is a lineup that if you're not just a Pirates pitcher, but just about anybody, one that you think you'd want to be aggressive against because of their offensive woes.
Yeah, you don't feel threatened by it, especially in this ballpark. They're hitting about 220 as a team here. And 2 days ago cost their hitting coach his job.
Lamar Johnson taking over. He had been their minor league hitting coordinator. Ball one on Chris Young. Hitting an even 200. He and Bartolo Colon and Curtis Granderson, the big additions this offseason by the Mets. Young can't hold up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Chris Young's first season in a Mets uniform.
Not very productive so far.
Signed a 1-year contract. He hit 200 with Oakland last season. 12 homers and 40 runs batted in. The longtime Arizona Diamondback. And a strike is called even though it pops out of Chris Stewart's mitt. 1-2.
Young's bailing.
Well, I guess a little bit of a cross up there. 1-2.
You know, it's weird that the sign must have been for a fastball. I think the sign was for a fastball. Apparently. And Young's reaction was like he was expecting a fastball.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there.
Interesting point. Interesting point.
I mean, at this level, you don't see guys bail out that much on a curveball.
Things that make you go, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's
just throwing it out there.
It's just something to think about for the future.
That last pitch, the fastball, 1-2 on Young. And that's topped foul. Still 1-2. Oh, Murphy, who singled, goes back to second, and Wright, who walked, goes back to first. Morton, of course, can be a difficult pitcher to catch with all that movement. In fact,
I would say he's the most difficult on the team.
This is Stewart's just second game catching Charlie Morton this season. The other game was April the 23rd against the Reds.
And he'll challenge you, too, with that big breaking curveball that he will put in the dirt quite often. Leads the league, I believe, in hitting batters.
Yeah, he's plunked 10 batters. And still a ball and 2 strikes, and this will be his 28th pitch of the inning. And he gets him. Well, the Mets strand a couple. A long bottom of the first, but nothing. On to the second.
Sports is brought to you by Toyota. Now's the time to go places with Toyota. Visit buyatoyota.com for special offers. And by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. Let's go Bucks!
Bartolo Colon's first pitch to Starling Marte is taken inside ball one. 0-0 onto the second. Marte was 1 for 3 with a walk and 2 RBIs last night. A 2-run single with the bases loaded that had tied the game. The very next half inning, the Mets regained the lead, scoring 2 runs off Jeanmar Gomez. 2-0 count now. And it's taken ball 3. Three and 1 lifetime Colon against the Pirates in 5 starts. A 1.46 career ERA versus Pittsburgh. 3-0 pitch, and now it's 3-1. He lost as a member of the Angels to the Pirates back in June of 2004. It's that one loss.
Pretty nice career. If something odd happens, going to be a 200-game winner. Pretty impressive.
And in foul territory, Murphy will make the catch to retire Starling Marte. Talking to Lucas Duda. Want to see how you root for the Buccos? Our AT&T fan photo of the day. Use Twitter and the hashtag BucsFanPhoto, and we'll show them during our broadcast. Whatever you might wear, perhaps your good luck outfit for the Pirates. Some of your Jolly Roger flags around the house, or even at the office. Maybe you're sneaking a peek at the Pirates-Mets game while getting some work in at the office. Snap a photo, and again, we'll show it a little bit later on. Here is Pedro Alvarez. A pinch hit appearance last night and hit into a double play. He was 2 for 4 with a walk on Monday. Rips this toward right center field, and Pedro Alvarez is going to have himself a double. Book rule doubles. It bounces over the wall.
Pedro probably been sitting over the dugout looking out there saying, what's the problem? This guy just throws fastballs.
It's like BP. Come on.
He's just throwing fastballs. Let's go. Just get up there and go to ripping.
That's what he did. A 1-out double.
Right. I've told that story about Mike Diaz a couple times.
Yes, I love it.
St. Louis. It's so great.
Jordy Mercer takes a strike.
The left-handed pitcher, the soft toss was
Tudor?
Jeff Tudor.
Yeah.
Was
John
on the
Tudor.
mound. John Tudor.
Yep.
He was on the mound, and we couldn't do nothing with him. His best fastball is probably about 82. Seriously, 82. And it's just, we're not hitting the ball hard. Nothing's happening. And Mike Diaz, young
Rambo.
guy, Rambo.
Yeah.
He's over there, and he's got his bat the whole time. And he's sitting there, and he's just walking with his bat, and he's like yelling at everybody, the veteran guys and stuff like, "Why can't anybody hit this guy? Look at him. He's like throwing batting practice. Let's go." And some of the older guys that have been around a while are looking at him.
Getting a little
they're
perturbed at this young guy, right?
But they're also saying, you don't know what you're talking about. You get up there, it's a lot tougher than it looks. He's changing speeds, he's moving the ball in and out. it's and he's going, no. He goes, he's got nothing. He goes, there's no reason we can't hit this guy. Finally, about the 6th or 7th inning, Rambo gets called on to go up there and pitch hit. He hits the first ball out of the ballpark. Comes back, running around, gets in the dugout. See, I told you guys, just go up there and hit him. And it was just so amazing.
It's a classic story. And Bartolo Colon strikes out Mercer looking.
Mike Diaz kind of turned out to be a little flash in the pan, but the flash was bright. While he was there, he was something.
He did. He added swagger and enthusiasm to that Pirates team. And they're going to intentionally walk Stewart.
They want Chuck.
Stewart riding a modest 5-game hitting streak.
Well, just kind of a reflection on the Mets offense.
And yeah, just also we should point out that Stewart is 4 for 9 with a home run in his career against Cologne.
Yeah, that's going into it also. But I think that if the Mets have been scoring any runs, they wouldn't be walking the number 8 hitter in a 0-0 game in the second inning. Get the pitcher up. This is they're not expecting to score a lot.
Bob, I would think if you're a pitcher and you want to face anybody, usually pitchers don't hit well, and Morton no exception. He's 0 for 14 this season and 0-80 in his career. This is one guy you would want to face. Bartolo Colon.
Oh, I see what you mean. Heck yeah. Absolutely.
See if Morton can make Terry Collins pay for this decision. Strike one. 9 strikeouts and 14 at-bats this season for Morton. And a roller to second. Murphy on to first, and the Pirates strand a couple. 0-0.
I'm Robbie Mikowski, and Pedro Alvarez Jr. was partaking in some entertainment television yesterday, as he is the featured guest this week on MTV2's Off the Bat. Is a show Off the Bat from the MLB Fan Cave. It aired last night on MTV2, and they did an interview with Pedro, talked about him growing up, and he answered some rapid-fire questions as he see some video of him taking some of those rapid-fire questions right now. Now, Pedro said it was neat to be there in front of a small select audience. He said the ambiance was really neat. But he said the coolest thing was to be able to meet some people he grew up watching, such as Sway, the host we see right there, and Fat Joe, the rapper. They're two of the hosts of the show. Off the Bat airs from the MLB Fan Cave in New York City every Tuesday at 11 o'clock and features different MLB players each week. So I know, Greg and Bob, you guys are big Fat Joe fans. I know with this 6-hour flight coming up, you'll be running through the list of Fat Joe songs you have on your iPod, right?
You got that right, Robbie. It looked as though Pedro was having a lot of fun, though, huh?
You know, he did. Pedro being from here, part of the interview really talked about Pedro being from New York and the experience that he's had playing here so far. But it was a nice thing for Pedro to do, and it's, they don't go hardcore with the baseball questions like we do every day. So nice to see a different side of Pedro there.
That was the show, I believe, Robbie, that Andrew McCutchen was going to co-produce with Big Papi, and he turned it down because it was just going to take too much time. So it's just David Ortiz of the Red Sox as the co-producer.
Yeah, and The one thing, too, with Off the Bat, with the fan cave, whenever visiting teams come into New York City, almost every time they send a player there to check the whole thing out. Bob, you were talking about it the other night. Really cool place. If you're a baseball fan, it is hardcore, and it is fantastic.
I was asking if it was an actual cave.
Well, a cave to sit there and watch baseball games every night.
Yeah, like it did. It's all like a man cave.
If it was an actual cave, I'd have interest in it.
When you walk in and make a right in the fan cave, they have dirt from every MLB ballpark in there that you could take a sampling of and take it home with you.
Oh, I like that. That makes sense. That makes it more like a cave. It's got dirt in it.
There's a walk, second free pass for Charlie Morton.
But it's essentially a TV studio.
Yep.
And they call it a man cave, so I think the Root Studios need a name. So, Tim said Root Cellar. I kind of like that.
Not bad.
The Root TV studio needs a name.
I think I'll let Rob King and Stan Savert. I think that should be something on the top of their list.
They have to name it.
Yep. Name your studio.
Yep.
Nickname it.
Man cave is taken. And MLB grabbed that. I'm going to have to run some kind of a contest.
Yeah.
Name the studio.
Hashtag Bucks Booth if you want to name the Root Sports studio. And then we're going to have to get a nickname for all of our TV booths around the country.
That would be easy.
It would be easy?
Yeah, I could pick names for most of them.
Are you allowed to say it on the air?
No, probably not. They've gotten better, though.
Yeah, well, this
it would have been more fun, like, say, 10, 12 years ago.
Yeah, I was going to say, the old Shea Stadium TV booth, we had a lot of names for that.
That was a cave.
Oh, that was a true cave.
They actually had stalactites hanging
down. Water dripping from it. Now, this is nice here.
Oh, this is beautiful.
Yeah.
You know what I like about it here, too, is that we're out with the crowd.
Yeah, that's true.
We
can yell at them, they come up and say hi.
You feel like you're in the stands here.
Nice sight lines here. We're fairly low to the field.
It's a big
ball down below us, huh?
Yep.
Mike and cameraman Bob Anderson, stage manager, hiding. There he is, back there, behind Mike. 1 ball, 1 strike the count. And 1-2. Charlie Morton trying to be more efficient. His second inning, much like his first. And he did retire leadoff man Juan Lagares on a 3-2 offering. He gave up a single to Daniel Murphy, and he walked David Wright before getting Granderson to fly out, and he struck out Chris Young. And now, after walking Duda, count of 1-2, and he was trying to put Tejada away, maybe get a ground ball, and a chopper that's fouled off. And Tejada is down. Here comes Terry Collins, one of the Mets trainers.
Wow, this was quite a reaction for fouling one off your leg. Oh, right on the side of the knee. Off his back leg, too. That's not even off your... Ooh. Is it in? Does it hurt? How about now? What about if I press here? Does that hurt? How about this? See if he can walk it off.
Brian Chicklow, the assistant trainer out there with Tejada and Terry Collins.
The only thing that's changed really over the years is they don't have that cold stuff to spray on.
Ethyl chloride. We used to have ethyl like in a holster.
Yeah.
They just freeze it,
right? There was like a little valve that you would open up and it would spray.
And did it work?
No, it was cold.
So it froze it?
No, it didn't freeze it. It was just made your skin cold.
All right.
I don't know what it was.
A bigger area would.
Greg, if it did anything, they'd still be doing it.
Yeah. Well, there are a lot of things in the past that worked out just fine.
That was just all for show.
Yeah.
And most of the time, at least with Kent Biggerstaff, the tube was empty anyway.
Is that right?
Because I would sneak up behind him and open the valve all the time while it was in his holster. So when he went to use it, there was nothing in it.
So he just sprayed air.
Yeah, well, you didn't spray anything. You just kind of waved it around there. Nobody knew.
That is, we got to ask Biggie about that
Yeah,
next time we see him. Well, pitch gets away.
A lot of wild pitches in yesterday's game. I hope that's not a trend again today. About 3 or 4 yesterday's game from the Pirates. Curveball way outside. There's not even a chance really for Stewart to get out after that one. That was too far to the right. You'd like to get out there on your knees and try to take that ball in your chest protector, but when you're that far outside, you just can't do it. Your only hope is to try and throw the glove out in front of it.
This is, it's early, but a very frustrating start here for Charlie Morton. This is bounced and a nice backhand play by Alvarez, checking on the runner and throwing out Ruben Tejada. 1 down. That's the second ground ball out. Merrill Automotive League leader stat. The leaders in ground ball percentage since last year. Charlie Morton is the leader. Dallas Keuchel of the Astros, then Justin Masterson, Tim Hudson, and the Padres' Tyson Ross. Now he goes to work on Juan Centeno. Centeno fouls this one back. Electrish sends this tweet to #BucksBooth. Where in the strike zone as a ball is thrown so that the batter is more likely to hit a ground ball? Bob.
Well, it kind of goes without saying that you want to keep it down. It has to be low, something at the knees. But I'll say this too, that if you know that the hitter's trying to pull the ball, the best place if you're going to want a ground ball is pitch it away, throw away from them. But if they try to pull a ball away from them, they're going to roll over and put it on the ground 9 times out of 10.
This ball on the ground. They had him shaded towards second. Mercer gobbles it up. Duda goes to third, 2 outs.
That's why a lot of times with left-handed starters, you go back a few years with Mulholland, Duke, and Gorzolani. For instance, Jack Russell at shortstop, he was going to have a very Wilson. Yeah. Jack, that's the dog, isn't it, Jack Russell. Well, Jack Russell's and Jack Wilson, they go after those balls.
Ball gets away, and the Mets are going to score a run on a wild pitch. Just talking about wild pitches. Second one of the inning.
Well, that definitely wasn't a breaking ball. That just looked like had fastball movement on it.
Pirates uncorked. A couple of wild pitches last night.
What's really bad about that is you have Colon, who can't hit, at the plate with 2 outs. That was the only possible way they were going to score.
And Colon goes down, but they get the run thanks to 2 wild pitches, a walk and 2 wild pitches, allowing Duda to score.
Brought to you by 5-Hour Energy. 5-Hour Energy helps recognize those who, despite their own needs, put others first. By the Chevy Cruise and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Day Automotive. We're going to make your day. Let's go Bucks!
Well, the Mets get a run. A walk. A wild pitch, a ground out, and a wild pitch. 1-0 New York onto the third inning. Pirate fans on hand here on this cool afternoon. It was 56 degrees at game time. Pirates trying to win another series on this long road trip. They'll head to Los Angeles after this game. And Bartolo Colon, who struck out Josh Harrison to start the game, faces the Bucco right fielder again. This is Colon's 8th big league club. Started out in the major leagues with the Cleveland Indians. He's traded to Montreal. He's pitched for the White Sox, Angels, Red Sox, Yankees, A's, and now the Mets on a roller to second. Retires Josh Harrison. We'll bring up Neil Walker. This day in Pirates history brought to you by Day Automotive. Last year on this date, Neil Walker, his 11th inning home run off Jose Ortega of the Tigers. And then in the bottom half of the inning, Jason Grilli strikes out Torrey Hunter, Miguel Cabrera, and Prince Fielder for the save. Jason Grilli will tell that story on Inside Pirates Baseball coming up after Pirates postgame today. This day in Pirates history. Jason Grilli last night gave up a leadoff hit in the 8th inning that struck out the next 3 batters. So he is close to returning to the closer's role. 0-1 on Walker. 10 homers, tied for 7th in the league. And now in the hole 0-2. As Neil Walker plays in his 600th major league game. And all 52 for the Pirates this season, Walker has started at second base. That streak will come to an end at some point this weekend. According to Clint Hurdle, he's going to get Walker a day off. 1-2 on Neil Walker. Colon, the 2005 American League Cy Young Award winner. A couple of years ago, he was suspended 50 games for steroid use. Strike 3 is called. He's punched out 3.
Nothing real tricky about the strike 2 pitch. Location, fastball, elevated, middle. You know what he's going to throw, although he has thrown 2 off-speed pitches this inning. The first pitch of the inning was a conventional breaking ball that he actually bounced up there. And one of the pitches to Walker, I believe, was the second one, was a changeup. But back to your original question, Greg, can you think of somebody that was like this with this style of pitching? It's hard to come up with a name that either he wasn't a power pitcher or a sinker baller.
Yep. Hutchin flies out to the warning track. 1-0 Mets. PNC Park. Perfect for corporate outings, weddings, bar and bat mitzvahs, maybe a wedding anniversary, whatever. Catering options available in the Lexus Club, Pittsburgh Baseball Club, or the Rivertown Brewing Hall of Fame Club. And to take a 360-degree virtual tour, go to pirates.com/PNC Park events. Great place to host a special outing. Strike is called on the leadoff man, Juan Lagares.
Yeah, speaking of wedding anniversaries, happy anniversary to Pete and Susie.
Strike is called. Just Pete and Susie, just first names.
Just leave it there. They know who they are.
Ball and 2 strikes.
Just heard from the truck that it's Mike's birthday today.
All right. And there's a strikeout. Juan Lagares goes down swinging.
Got ahead. Put him away with the hook. The curveball fairly close to the strike zone, but it's not a strike. It's the location he needs. If he can get some command out there, the stuff is way, way good enough to where he not only would have success, he could be dominant.
So when your stuff is that good in a bad way, because it's all over the place, you've talked about this before, sometimes you just have to set up right down in
you
the
got to
center,
change,
right?
You change your style a little bit, and then there's our days, Greg, where you
nothing you can do about it.
No, well, there are days like that too, but there are days too where with that movement, even with the movement, that the big hammer coming down, for some reason you're just throwing it perfect, right where you want it. Then you can start really picking apart some people. Maybe that's when you go out and you throw the complete game 2-hitter. Those are the kind of days you have. You have to always make some kind of adjustments to the kind of stuff you have, what's your control that day, what kind of day are the hitters having. A lot of variables, always, all the time between start. One start, it might be totally different 5 days later.
And maybe inning to inning, right?
Sure.
You can find your stuff or get in that zone. And bounce to Alvarez, well off the line at third, and guns it way over the head of Davis. It caroms right back to Walker. A shot at second, and that ball gets away.
He might
and now
score.
in the center field.
Whoa, get on that ball. Thought that ball was going to roll out into no man's land.
A routine ground ball. We talked about this before. The defense behind Charlie Morton has been suspect at best.
This it took the crow hop. I do not understand that throw at all, but now you got an easy out at second base. Real lucky bounce, and Mercer just misses the ball. And I thought when I saw the direction of that rolling out toward left center, I thought we were going to be in big trouble.
That is an error on the shortstop. Error obviously on Alvarez to begin the at-bat, and then an error on Mercer to allow the runner to wind up at third base. Alvarez with his 12th error of the season. And Jordy Mercer.
They're going to appeal second base, it looks like.
And now Las Diaz says no. You got to get what back on the rubber? What's he telling Charlie Morton? They want to put the ball back in play. Bob, we talked to an umpire.
Well, if time's called,
right?
You have to have you can't appeal during a timeout.
Well, was time called? I guess it was.
That's what Laz just said. He even gave the timeout sign. They're like, hey, time is called. You can't appeal during a timeout. Now, once the plate umpire, now the plate umpire has just pointed. That which means now time is in.
Let's see what we have here. Safe.
why they appealed.
Did Murphy's foot ever touch the bag?
Not that I saw. It looked like all he did was step on the glove.
Infield in with David Wright at the plate. One and one.
I think he just stepped on the glove, Greg. I don't think he ever touched the bag.
And into left field, and it's 2-0. David Wright singles home Murphy.
Remember when we were talking about where you throw the ball, try to get a ground ball down or maybe away and hope they pull and roll over? This is not down and it's not away. And it's not a ground ball. And where I was going before we got sidetracked with the Jack Russell. When you have all those left-hand starting pitchers out there, they're always throwing the ball away, so your shortstop, Jack Wilson in this case, would get a lot of work with guys trying to pull the lefties, especially the off-speed pitchers. They would put it on the ground and hit it to short. Wilson would jump on it like a terrier and throw him out.
Runner goes. David Wright with a stolen base. His third of the season.
Close as he was popping up out of the slide by the time his foot was tagged. It's easy to see where to tag him with those orange laces, isn't it?
2-1 on Granderson. This has been a sloppy start for Morton and the Pirates. Over to Walker. And 2 outs.
See up on the scoreboard there, 61 pitches now.
He's walked 2 batters. He's given up 2 hits.
If you're averaging over 20 pitches per inning, I mean, you do the math. You're not going to be around long if they cut you off at 100 pitches. I don't even have to get John over here to add that up for me.
Chris Young struck out with runners at first and second in the first inning. Young bunts. Attempts to anyway, and Stewart guns to Alvarez, but Wright dives back safely.
Stewart throw out the other day was Gardner? Yankees?
I think so.
Third base? Yeah. Somewhere playing.
Bounce toward Alvarez, waits for that last hop, and throws to first for the out. But an unearned run as 2 errors are committed behind Charlie Morton, allowing Murphy to score. It's 2-0 Mets.
Ralph Kiner in left field. They're trying to get it officially renamed Kiner's Corner. But as you see right here, Ralph Kiner in a microphone in his the years of his life, 1922 to 2014, here where he is remembered forever at the Mets ballpark. Now, this was started by Ed Solomon. He was a 31-year-old Mets fan who grew up watching Ralph Kiner on TV. Now, of course, Ralph Kiner never played for the Mets, but he was known for his Kiner's Corner segments, and in left field, that's where he hit the home runs at Forbes Field. Now, they have an official Twitter account here for this sections 132 and 134 here. They want to get it officially renamed Kiner's Corner. The Twitter account is Mets Kiner's Corner. And how cool, Greg and Bob, you see Ike Davis batting right now. The first guy to wear 2 memorial patches for the same guy in the same month. Wore the number 4 that the Mets are wearing, and now, of course, he's wearing the number 4 that the Pittsburgh Pirates are wearing in honor of Ralph Kiner as well. So pretty neat thing. And how about this? The University of New Mexico, Ralph Kiner, a native of New Mexico, they're wearing Ralph Kiner patches as well. So if Ike wants to maybe play a game there, he can go for 3.
How about that? I didn't realize that. That's pretty neat. Ralph Kiner, the longtime Mets broadcaster, who joined the Pirates in 1946 and went on to lead the National League in home runs 7 straight seasons. Still second on the all-time Pirates home run list. He passed away at the age of 91 in February. Mike Davis, as Robbie said, wore the memorial patch with the Mets, and now he's wearing number 4 as a Bucko.
Does Zach have any eligibility left for New Mexico?
Have to get Robbie on that case.
Yeah.
Played, I think, 3 years at Arizona State. He played. Didn't he play for Pedro Alvarez's father-in-law, Pat Murphy, at Arizona State? 1 ball, 2 strikes on Ike Davis. Well, if they get that officially named Kiner's Corner, I imagine there's going to be a bunch of Pirate fans that are going to try to work out something at PNC Park. They changed Greenberg Gardens. Hank Greenberg came over. They shortened that porch and left. And after he left, became Kiner's Corner. As Ike Davis retired on a 4-3 ground out.
There's kind of a little corner of stands at PNC Park down that left field line.
Yeah.
Actually, is
right next to the left field lilies.
Little corner.
Yeah.
There.
That would be neat. Well, Bartolo Colon is rolling along here. 1 away as Starling Marte comes to the plate. Marte fouled out his first time.
Which is right next to the Kiner statue.
Yep.
Right in that same spot. Just beyond those little corner of stands.
That's where that
kind of a statue, but it's a statue of his hands holding a bat.
Out in front of Marte, 0-2. Colon spent 2 years with the A's. 10-9 in 2012, and in August of 2012 is when he was suspended for performance-enhancing drugs. So ended the season on the suspended list and began last year. First couple weeks in April, missing the season, but ended up winning 18 games. He was 18-6 last season. Colon signed by the Indians in June of 2000, acquired by the Expos in a deal that involved Brandon Phillips and Grady Sizemore and Cliff Lee. There's a roller to third. David Wright throws on to first and past the first baseman Duda. And Marte will wind up at second base. And David Wright will be charged with his 5th error of the season.
Nobody can make that throw. The force field over there. I think we'll see on this replay, though, this ball is very catchable. In fact, I would give that error to Duda. What do you think?
Maybe, yeah. I don't think it hit the dirt, did it?
Even if it did, it was inches in front of the glove. Yeah, that's in my unofficial scorebook. I'm going E3.
See if Alvarez and the Pirates can take advantage. He doubled his first time up. So he popped up and drifting out of play.
There you can see the ball where it bounces. I think it bounced right beside the glove.
Allegheny Health Network Super Mode with that shot.
Why was he backhanding that, by the way? Poor first base work there.
Blocked there by Sentinel. Edgar Alvarez, 9 homers on the year, 27 runs batted in. Last 8 games here at Citi Field, hitting at almost a 500 clip.
Likes his hometown. Some guys are comfortable in all that goes with the visit to hometown. There's some players that gets them out of their routine. You can see by their numbers that it affects them. Poor numbers.
Alvarez, an all-star last year, played in the game at Citi Field last summer. 2-1, and it's 2-2.
For some reason, I think we used to talk about that a lot with Kendall in LA.
Yes.
Did he play poorly in LA in the beginning?
I think so.
There was some reason I can remember us used to talk about Jason Kendall in Los Angeles about
all the stuff that
playing in front of your friends, family, and how it can affect you because your day before the game is totally different than what you're normally used to on the road. Nowadays, these guys get to ballparks full. It's got to affect them much less than 15, 20 years ago.
Colon strikes out Alvarez. 4th K. 2 down. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is celebrating 12 years. Join the millions of subscribers. Watch every out-of-market game live in true HD on over 400 devices. Visit Pirates.com for details. Two outs, down a pair, and Jordy Mercer at the plate. Mercer struck out looking in the second. Nick Leyva hoping to wave home Marte.
I am amazed at Harris out in center field with bars. How shallow he plays everybody.
Talk about Colon being old school. That's an old school center fielder.
Well, he's
Andrew Jones shallow.
yeah, when you look at them all, they're all in shallow. But I don't know, I guess it's because the logo is out there that I can really judge it. The New York Met logo out there in the center field, and you can see that Lagares is in about where the top of the Y is. Yeah, oh, how about that shot? That's awesome. And there is a lot of room behind him in the fence. Look at that. But even the corners are in a little closer than than you would think. Going to give them advantage on a hard hit single. But with Marte's speed, I don't think it'll matter.
Bounce to short. Tejada on to first to retire the Pirates. The error does not hurt. It's 2-0 Mets.
I met Chuck the first time all of us were around him for an extended period of time. We thought, is this guy for real? I mean, is this guy always this exuberant, this positive?
Stan Savard was just one of the many impressed with the undeniable enthusiasm of Pirates manager Chuck Tanner. Hear from Tanner's players, colleagues, and many others as we explore his infectious personality and management style. A special Inside Pirates Baseball tomorrow at 9 on Root Sports. Lucas Duda walked and scored. Wild pitches thrown by Charlie Morton. Down on strikes on 3 pitches. 4th K for Morton.
Curveball again. When he locates it, it's a ton of swings and misses off. Not even foul tips. Well, that 3-pitch out is definitely what he needed. He could use an inning where he goes single digits in pitches. A little outside.
Just a bit and low. We talked about the fact that Morton, though he got his first win 5 days ago at PNC Park against the Nationals, he went just 5 2/3. 1 run, 5 hits. He walked 4 through 108 pitches.
I'll call that last pitch a $50 pitch. There's another one.
What do you call that one?
That's another $50 pitch.
50 Cent.
Yeah.
We were watching yesterday. So 50 Cent threw out the ceremonial first pitch.
It's just a little wide of the plate.
And he falls behind Tejada 3-0. In case you missed it, there's 50 Cent.
A little outside.
How about the stoic cameraman, though? Like, not moving.
See, you know what I thought is he's probably really zoomed right in and had no idea where the ball was going.
Maybe you're right. I don't know. Those guys are.
I mean, he would have flinched if he knew that ball was 6 inches from his head, even though it was moving about 30 miles an hour.
Well, they're trained to be that way.
Oh, that's true.
I almost clipped Dave Arrigo at a charity event. You know, he
clipped him with what?
The team photographer. He was at a Pirates golf outing event, and he was taking shots of people off the tee.
Clipped him with the golf ball.
Yeah, you know the way I slice.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, he's off to the side. I even think I said, "Be careful." He's, no, I'm way over here. I shot one just over his shoulder, and he stayed there. He didn't move. He got the shot of the ball right at him. This ball right at Harrison. 2 outs.
Well, that's how camera guys are. They're paid to hang in there.
Yeah. Morton gets the first 2 outs. Now he'll face Juan Centeno, the 8th man in the order. Unearned run last inning, thanks to 2 errors. Alvarez and Mercer on the same play, and then David Wright singled home Murphy, who had reached. Strike 1. Centeno and Anthony Recker have been splitting the catching duties. Travis d'Arnaud has been on the disabled list with concussion-like symptoms. There's a grounder to second, and there is the first 1-2-3
nice
inning.
Quick inning
for Charlie Morton. Through 4, it's 2-0 New York.
Is brought to you by Barrel Automotive. We're driven to be better. And by Levin Furniture, proudly featuring solid wood American-made Amish furniture. For furniture that lasts, shop Levin. Let's go Bucks!
5th inning, 2-0 Mets.
No, the cameramen do have a very dangerous life, that's for sure. And we were talking about that earlier. They always have to just hang in there.
Wait a second. How did you get that shot?
Look where the ball is.
You're
coming right at it. Coming right at it.
Down on the left of your screen. Where did you guys get that shot? Shank's tee shot. That wasn't a shank. I always say, don't I? You golf with me.
That was a bullet
I always do the banana.
I didn't banana that time.
Where in the world did those guys get that?
They got everything. They have it all.
We're going to quit talking about anything. Sorry, Dave. Arrigo, I guess, must have sent that to you.
My guess is that's true.
1 ball, 1 strike on Stewart. One ball, 1 strike the count. Stewart 4 for 9 in his career against Cologne. Walked intentionally in the second so that Cologne would face Charlie Morton. with 2 outs and 2 on. As we said, Colon is absolutely a throwback. 41 years old, and his ERA higher than he'd like, 5.34 coming in. He's still going and strikes out Stewart. 5 Ks.
So much for running extra in between starts, too, for him.
For what?
So much for running extra between starts.
No.
Yeah, that's a throwback also.
That's what I mean. I'm part of what I'm saying.
I mean, you can see he's a little on the chubby side. And that, if you go back in baseball, say 20, 30 years ago, that wasn't uncommon.
Right.
It's like a right-handed Sid Fernandez for the folks here in New York. Yeah, some of your most effective pitchers always seem to have a little pot belly going. I remember as a kid watching the World Series between the Tigers and St. Louis. Remember Mickey Lolich?
Yeah.
He would like rest his hands on his stomach as he was coming to his stretch. Heck, he was as good as anybody in the league.
6 Ks. Let's go back to the, I guess we'll call it the root cellar for now. Rob King with the game update. Rob, thanks. We'll leave it up to you then to nickname our booth at some point. There's Josh Harrison. Strike is called. So Springer, after maybe a tough learning curve at the big league level when he was first called up earlier this season, really starting to come on. And the Astros are playing much better baseball over the last couple of weeks.
Well, we always knew that the Astros were going to have it kind of tough for a while when they went to the American League West. They were really just kind of starting off a rebuilding program. I have a tendency to really root for the Astros because of their National League roots.
Base hit for Josh Harrison. Ends his little slump. He was 0 for his last 11 before that single.
I'm glad the Astros are doing better.
They're trying to win their 5th straight game as they lead that one over Kansas City 2-0. There will be one other afternoon game out west. The Giants are hosting the Cubs. A bunch of action tonight.
I wonder if J-Hay might take off here. We're not doing much on offense. Sometimes you can push things on the bases, try to get the ball rolling.
That'll be interesting because that's another area, Bob, that Colon has done a good job of over the years, is holding runners, limiting the stolen bases.
There's no leg kick. It makes it a lot tougher. Yeah, you put the stopwatch on him, and the ball goes from his first move to the catcher's glove, relatively speaking, quicker than a lot of other guys.
Gets away, so Harrison will wind up at second anyway.
Don't have to worry about any steals. A few times today that the catchers are having to go back and pull balls off the backboard. Called that a wild pitch, Greg. That's a shame.
Well, not a wild pitch. They called that error on right. I agree with you. I think that was Duda's. Could have been charged with an error, and there, ball doesn't hit the ground. Hits right off of Centinel's
glove. How can a major league catcher not be expected to at least knock that ball down? Expected to.
Sorry, Bob. Colon. Colon will jump and turn. Pop up, shallow right. And the catch is made in right center by Lagares. Pirates lead 1. Have stranded 5. World Series win over the Yankees on Root Sports Classics. Experience this legendary game like never before with personal stories and game recollections from Vernon Law, Bill Verdon, Dick Broden, and the man that hit the game winning home run, Bill Mazeroski. Pirates 1960 World Series Game 7, Friday at 6 on Root Sports. Bartolo Colon.
Well, Martin had a nice inning real quick in the fourth. Now he's got Colon leading off. 2-pitch out.
Look at Colon. Bat in hand. And the crowd,
well, they love it.
Gives him a great ovation.
Yeah.
As he carries the bat with him to first base and heads into the dugout.
I think they were happy with the ball put in play. Nothing wrong with that. No reason to overwork the bat boy. You know, when you get older, you do your walking, you always like carry a weight. I think that's what that was all about there. It was just carrying a weight.
Good bunt, but rolls foul. Charlie Morton gets the first out, and now he's out in front of Juan Lagares, 0-2. A lot of kids. Dinosaur education days.
That is a mean-looking dinosaur out here today.
What was that, a velociraptor?
Good chance of that. Maybe a smallish, what do they call those? Tyrannosaurs?
T-Rex?
Yeah.
Small T-Rex.
But it had that body shape. Those short arms.
Yeah. One ball, 2 strikes on Lagares. Count even. Lagares bounced out in the first inning, struck out in the third.
I continue that thought. I was out with a nice quick fourth inning. Able to retire Colon on a couple of pitches. Really an opportunity now to get right back where he needs pitch count wise if he can get a couple quick outs, but this one's going to fall in for a base hit. So that's okay. Single. That just means, okay, now the next 3 pitches, throw a ground ball. Get a double play, get back in the dugout.
So that should be his kind of mindset.
Yeah, well, yeah, and from a personal standpoint, if you're being a little selfish, he also has to be thinking, I'm down 2 runs. At some point, they're going to pinch hit for me. So you don't want to come out because of the pitch count. You know, might not be out there much longer than that anyway. When you're behind, you want to stay out as long as possible to try and get that decision, especially when you have a record of 1-6. You want that win. It's tough to get a lot of wins if you're not going 7 innings.
Pitch out, Lagares not going.
Because you're leaving too many innings where something can happen out there, an error, a bad outing by a reliever, a lot of bad luck kind of things. And somebody ties the game up and now you've lost your decision.
Going on the 1-0 pitch, and it's bounced, and a diving stop made by Ike Davis. He'll tag the bag, and on the play, Lagares, who was off on the pitch, is at second. Two outs, Murphy retired.
That's a nice play. That ball sneaks by him. Obviously, that's extra bases.
is David Wright. Mike Davis deciding to use his bare hand rather than his glove hand. You rarely see that.
I guess it doesn't matter what you're tagging the base with then. Like, as long as you can tag it with your elbow, your shoulder, your head, anything.
They've got the runner picked off between second and third. Morton took a look, throws to Alvarez for the out there. Well, that could prove very costly for the Mets.
That is a dumb play by the center fielder.
That picture of Terry Collins really says it all. With David Wright at the plate.
Yeah, I mean, that's just not right. Look where the middle infielders are, Greg. Everybody's back on the grass. That is important. If you have a little inside move like that, you want the runner to feel comfortable. You don't want those middle infielders dogging him a little. You want them back out of the play, and then you put that middle that move on, and you think.
How about that play by David Wright? The shot hit by Andrew McCutchen, and David Wright robs McCutchen of a double to start the sixth inning.
Yeah, excellent play by Wright. This ball ripped down the line. Wright says nope. Throws the call.
Fabulous play by David Wright.
But back to that inside move on there's a lot of times where, and I've heard fans say this, they'll see the inside move, and the runner will like maybe take a step, be off, and nobody covers. And they say, well, if somebody was covering, they would have been able to pick him off. Well, no, because he wouldn't have been jumping off like that if there was somebody covering. The reason he does that is because the infielders are off on the grass. They're doing what they're supposed to. Make him think, hey, we're not paying any attention to you. Go ahead, steal third if you want. Then you put the inside move on, runner takes off for third, and you got him inning over. That is exactly what that move is designed to do. Make the runner think he's being ignored, and I can go to third, no one's going to pay attention to me. You bait a trap.
Out in front of Ike Davis. 2. And just barely staying alive as the ball comes out of Centeno's mitt. Davis has flied to left and bounced to second. Colon has allowed 3 hits, no runs, 1 out into the 6th inning. He is at 86 pitches right now. Bartolo Colon. He strikes out Davis looking. You can tell Davis does not agree with that call, says that is not a strike, he said to Jeff Nelson. Seven strikeouts for Colon.
You don't see Davis get that animated. At least we haven't seen that yet. He really did not like that call at all. Did look like it had a little bit of a tail on it, though, as it came back. I could see why Ike thought that ball was inside. Now I'm wondering if the discussion was Jeff Nelson telling him, hey, the ball came back and caught the corner. Because it did look like he gave him an explanation. A lot of times umpire won't give you an explanation. It looked like Nelson did.
2000th career strikeout for Bartolo Colon. Getting Ike Davis looking. Second out in the 6th inning.
They didn't release doves or anything?
Nothing. I didn't know if they threw the ball out of play.
Pretty good milestone, 2,000 Ks.
But like Colon, he just goes about his business. No flair, no flash. Just get the ball and get back in my rocking chair and pitch. Doesn't take a lot of time, usually, between pitches.
Don't really need that exact ball. He can just go get another one out of the ball back.
That's right.
They're all the same.
Colon thought that was strike 3, 1 and 2.
Pretty darn close. Watch the replay of it.
David Wright, routine play. Well, not routine. He just robbed Andrew McCutchen of a double to start this inning. And then on a routine ground ball, he throws in the dirt, and Duda can't come up with the pick.
But still, don't you think that's got to be picked at first base?
Duda's not, by any stretch, Gold Glove caliber first baseman. But, Bob, I agree with you. But this is as routine a ground ball as you can get. My goodness, what are you doing throwing that ball in the dirt?
Absolutely. But the ball hits 6 inches in front of a Major League first baseman's glove. You have to pick that. Have to.
Agreed. But a Major League third baseman that close to first base has to throw that ball straight at the first baseman.
I was exaggerating.
Foot in front of the glove. Second error of the game charged to David Wright.
2 bad plays.
Pirates did not make Wright and the Mets pay in the 4th inning. And the throw to first gets away. Marte doesn't see it and just trickles near the first base coach's box.
I would avoid throwing to first for a while.
That's a good point. You know what? Let's shut that down. Let's not throw to first. Right off of Duda's glove. I thought it had hit the runner, but it's right off of his glove. Alvarez doubled in the 2nd, struck out in the 4th. Another throw over. Marte, by the way, with a dozen steals in 15 attempts. Oh, 0-2. Eight strikeouts for Bartolo Colon. 2-0 Mets.
Right there behind home plate. He's been with a few big leagues teams. He's been in the big leagues for a long time. But the story of how he became a catcher, Greg and Bob, is quite a unique one. It was when he was in high school. His natural position was a shortstop, and it was his team needed a catcher. The starter had left the team to join the cheerleading squad, and the backup was out after having an appendectomy. So the coach asked Chris if he would like to catch. Now Stewart said, no thanks. The coach said, well, too bad. You're going in anyways. And that's how he got his first catching experience, and I think it's pretty safe to say that things worked out quite all right for Chris Stewart in his life as a catcher. But yes, the starting catcher left to join the cheerleading squad, an appendectomy to a good friend, and boom, there he is.
So, an opportunity. Door open. Canyon Springs High School in Moreno Valley, California. Chris Stewart also played a year at Riverside Community College. Back in this city, 3 years with the Yankees, 2008. Spent most of that season at AAA Scranton, but the previous 2 years, back-to-back seasons with the Yankees. And the Pirates picked him up in December in a trade for a minor league pitcher. Here is David Wright, who was at the plate last inning when Lagares was thrown out trying to steal third. Picked off by Charlie Morton, and a fly ball toward left center field. And David Wright gives the Mets a 3-0 lead with his 4th home run of the season.
A little lesson for Lagares, huh? Why you don't get picked off second base for 2 outs when Wright's hitting. He is their RBI guy. They're, one of their big bats, and he proved it there. Fastball down and in, a strike down and in, not off the plate. Dropped the head of the bat to it, didn't shank it, just golfed it out of here.
It's the 4th home run allowed by Charlie Morton. Granderson pops this ball up to shallow left. Mercer out, and Marte will make the catch. David Wright's 4th of the season. first 2 RBIs in the game, gives him 29 ribbies. Granderson will pop out to left.
Off the bat, looks like there might be a little bit of a problem, but Bird Marte just in time to peel off.
In case you missed it last night, Andrew McCutchen and Starling Marte had a little collision. McCutchen dropped the ball. Was charged with an error. 2 balls, no strikes to count now on Chris Young. Morton gives up the homer to David Wright. Now trails 3-0 in the 6th. David Wright is first home run of this series, homered 4 days ago against the Diamondbacks. And he is certainly, beyond a shadow of a doubt, the face of this franchise, as Chris Young draws the walk. David Wright has been frustrated by the team's play and even his play. He hit 18 homers, drove in 58 runs last year. They moved the fence in a bit a couple years ago.
He's been here quite a while now, and I'm sure that he's got a lot of personal accolades over the years, and now he wants to do some winning. And, like that Met record to be much better than it is. Bullpen is in action.
Ray Searage pays Morton a visit. Jared Hughes is up. Young, 3 steals in 5 attempts. 3rd walk for Morton.
Hey, Young pushing that lead out to the cut of the grass. Looks like he wants to run. Stewart having a problem with the glove.
Looks like he'll need his backup.
Yep. Some new rawhide.
Jeff Branson, the Pirates hitting coach, retrieves the backup glove for Stewart. Call Bob Patterson.
That's just what I was thinking, Greg. I was about to say that. I wonder who's taking care of the gloves now. This dude thinks about bunting with that shift on. Back in the day, Bob Patterson, he would come out to the bullpen before every game, and he'd have 4 or 5 different gloves with him, along with his little toolbox. And he would spend the entire game, as long as he wasn't called to warm up a pitch, working on guys' gloves. And he was so good at it. I have my old game glove. I still have it, and it's got a Bob Patterson repair job on it.
Really?
I'll show it to you. He put a little extra leather in for me.
Didn't he open up after he got done playing? Didn't he open up a shop?
You know, he may have. I know for a while there he had his own leather treatment. That
did he really?
It was like It was called the Glove Doctor. It was like shaving cream. It would come out of a little can. The Glove Doctor.
Bob Patterson, the former Pirates pitcher. What a great hobby, huh?
Yeah, he just started doing it in the clubhouse to, help some guys out. He enjoyed it. I mean, he would go out there and all those little leather punches and all that stuff.
Two and two the count on Duda.
It was interesting when I saw Duda square around, like maybe he was going to bunt. I heard a little sound bite with Clint earlier today. I think it was part of the pregame where they were talking about the shifts and are they here to stay? And Clint said, yeah, until the hitters do something about it. They're either going to have to learn how to get on top of the ball and hit a ground ball the other direction, or bunt that way. But unless they start doing it, there's no reason not to shift. You get to play an extra infielder over on the side where he hits most of his ground balls. It makes all the sense in the world. Somebody should have thought about that earlier. People used to shift, but there would only be like 2 or 3 guys in the whole league that you would shift on. Now, there's probably 2 or 3 guys on every team that you see shifts.
By the way, it's interesting. I was listening to a little bit about the Indianapolis Indians the other day. They're actually shifting at the AAA level.
Really? Excellent.
The overshift.
Well, and I think that's important. And the reason why is that we have seen confusion at the big league level last year and still a little bit this year on balls hit up the middle. Who's covering the bag? Who's going to go to third? So that if the runner is safe at second, he doesn't continue all the way to third. We've seen that type of confusion. And if they're doing it at the minor league level, they get that stuff straightened out before they get here. Ball 4. And just as I was saying that, it looked like Alvarez and Mercer got together and were talking about who's going to cover the bag on the steal, who's going to break the third, that sort of thing. It's different from anything that the infielders have ever experienced. They got to know where to go in all the different scenarios.
This is going to have to be another disappointing start for Charlie Morton. He is going to exit.
Didn't find the strike zone often enough.
5 1/3 innings. Jared Hughes coming on.
Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Well, another disappointing and frustrating start, no doubt, for Charlie Morton.
But Charlie is close. He really is. The pitches are there, and even today, he's given up 3 runs. The home run was the only one earned by the Mets. The other 2 were just absolute gifts. and not necessarily his fault. I mean, the one gift was his fault. And then a walk, a wild pitch, a ground ball, a wild pitch with Cologne up. That it was a gift, but he's the one that did the giving. The other one was the ball that got thrown around all over the infield. A routine ground ball, and when it was all said and done, the hitter was at third. So he's close. I just leave it at that. That there's such a fine line right now with Charlie between going out there and throwing 7 innings of maybe 3 hit ball and giving up 1 run, as opposed to doing what he did this afternoon, where he's looking at 3 runs and 5+ innings.
And now Jared Hughes will try and keep those 2 runners from scoring, as they are Morton's responsibility. Ruben Tejada is 0 for 2.
This is kind of the situation that Hughes has been able to thrive in, coming in the middle of the innings. Getting a ground ball, keeping the starters' runs from crossing the plate. You would always prefer to have the relievers come in and start inning themselves. But there are times when you just can't do that. And Hughes seems to be the guy that they like going to when they think it might be a middle of the inning change.
Now Walker sneaking in behind Young.
The scenario we talked about before on the inside move, it's much different now. There's one out there looking for a double play, so the infielders are in double play depth, which puts them in a position now to kind of dog the runner a little bit, hold him close, and you definitely don't want him stealing third with 1 out. So there is no bait in the trap here. Nice play by Stewart, keeping everybody at their stations. Balls going to the backstop today on both teams. That one was headed in that direction. That was a fastball too. Was able to get out there and block.
Two and two, blocks another in the dirt.
Guys are beating the heck out of that dirt today.
Two on, 1 out. A home run by David Wright has given the Mets a 3-0 lead. Hughes pitched a 1-2-3 7th inning on Monday afternoon here. Again, concern Chris Young. And now it's 3-2, and now Young takes off at third. Stewart's throw is in time to get him. Trying to advance on the ball in the dirt. He is thrown out by Chris Stewart. And Duda still at first.
Nice job by Stewart. Even though the ball got away from him a little bit, recovered. And how about the strong throw right on the money? Look at that. Look where the ball was caught. Perfect position to make a quick tag.
Another look.
Stewart couldn't set his feet, anything. Great throw.
Now Duda takes off for second on the 3-2 pitch, and it's ball 4. And it's 2 on for Juan Centeno. Third straight walk, 2 for Morton.
Like deja vu. I've been here before, first, second.
Yes.
It's like you catch a break and then
give it back, right?
Give it back, yeah.
As we said, walks certainly a part of the first 2 games for both clubs, especially the Mets. Charlie Morton walking 4 in 5 1/3, and responsible for Duda on at second. Ball 1 on Centeno, who has grounded out twice. Ball 2, and the real frustrating part, again, to repeat about this, is that you're talking about a Mets club, and when you look in terms of the National League opponents the Pirates are going to face, this offense doesn't scare you. It's an offense that you would think you would really want to go after and attack. But the Pirates, Morton and now Hughes falling behind, 2-0. 3-0. Bartolo Colon is on deck. Not probably the worst thing in the world if you can walk him.
You see where Stewart was set up there, Greg?
Right down the middle?
No, he was a foot outside.
Why?
He threw it down the middle. They want Colon. Look where he's sitting. Look who's giving the target at 3-0. Look where he threw the ball. Stewart's tapping his head there saying, hey, got to think now, be smart. There he is, setting up outside to get way outside, and he threw a strike again.
And to center field for the out. Why not go after Centeno? They got him.
Now you got Colon leading off.
That's exactly right. Hughes knew what he was doing.
In the dugout, we got to come back. We got to get score and run this thing. And then somebody yelled, Maz, you're up. I said, I forgot all about it. I never even thought about it.
Hear more from Maz as he recalls his game-winning home run. Other members of the Pirates 60 team, Vernon Law, Bill Verdon, Dick Grote. While you watch, the Buccos beat the Yankees Game 7 of the 60 World Series on Root Sports Classics Friday at 6. on Root Sports. You can never hear that enough. So Maz talking about the home run and his reaction afterward, the story behind it, unforgettable.
Well, I never noticed before, too, where the ball went over the fence. You could see the TV truck in the distance there.
Did you really?
Yeah, trailer.
Who do you think was the Pete and the Adam and the Jason and the Tyler back then?
No, there's probably just one guy doing it all.
Times have changed, Bob.
Yes, they have. It's a new world we live in.
Yep. It's part of it. Diving stop by Duda. Well, Lucas Duda couldn't make some plays on some throws, but he made an outstanding play there.
It definitely came up big on that one. And when you're going bad, that's what happens to you. A guy that's really struggling to catch the ball, it takes an extra base hit away from you.
Lucas Duda taking over at first base. Another story, Ike Davis kind of battling it out. Even going back to last year, though Davis was not completely healthy. "100 pitches now by Colon. 1 ball, 1 strike the count. Certainly figures to be his last inning. And he is shutting out the Pirates on 3 hits. Travis Snyder to pinch hit for Hughes. And if you think Colon is tough, get ready. Pirates are heading to LA. Dan Herron, Josh Beckett, Hyunjin Ryu, and Zach Greinke.
And not to be a glass half empty guy, but it's been a while since we've won a game in LA, hasn't it? I'm gonna have to get my research staff on that.
Go ahead, do that. Strike 3 called. Corey Stewart, 9 punch outs for Colon. Take a look at our Nissan road ahead. There you see the pitching matchups. Garrett Cole will oppose Dan Herron on tomorrow night's game. Francisco Liriano against Josh Beckett on Friday. Brandon Compton against Ryu, and then Volquez versus Greinke.
Pretty good ERAs.
Saturday and Sunday, by the way, national TV on Fox Saturday night, ESPN on Sunday night. Garrett Cole getting ready. Travis Snyder batting for Hughes. Nine strikeouts for Colon, a season high.
Greg, you remember when Ross Ollendorf hit his home run in Los Angeles?
Yes.
That's the last time we've won a game there.
Oof. Thank you, Debbie Downer. 4-3 on the putout. 1, 2, 3. 7th inning stretch time here in New York. 3-0. Dinosaur Day here at Citi Field in New York.
Are you calling Bartolo old?
Take a look at our AT&T fan photo. And we invite you to keep those coming in on Twitter using the hashtag BucksFanPhoto. We're going to go with the sock theme. How about that? Bucko socks from Zachary Rookie, huh?
That Blast?
Maybe. Another nice pair of black and gold socks.
Very good.
And the Jolly Roger right there. Pirates going to need to rally the last couple of innings. Bartolo Colon will pitch. They had Matt Dendecker on deck.
I thought you were trying to say something when you were talking about Colon pitching and being
no.
Dinosaur Day.
No. Ryan Morris on the mound.
Ryan has really upped his velocity this year. He seems to be getting better and better through a number of 98s. A couple times back. It's turned himself into a power sinker baller.
And the crowd reacts to Colon getting his...
They absolutely love him here.
He has struck out 10 times in 16 at-bats this season.
This is a classic swing at this point. Oh. I would have clapped too.
Yeah. Big time reaction, and Colon continues to hold on to the bat and then veers off into the dugout, and the crowd reacts.
You got to have your signature. I think carrying the bat is his signature.
He never lets go of that bat.
He is a throwback.
Juan Lagares. Strike one from Brian Morris. Ball and a strike. Bounce toward Alvarez. He'll wait on that last hop and then throw in the dirt. And a play made over there by Ike Davis. The long hop.
Something happened, Ike. Did he get stepped on or something?
Lagares running by, stepping on Davis.
I mean, there was still a lot of bag out there that he could have touched. He didn't have to step on his foot, but at the same time, I don't think most first basemen have their foot on the top part of the bag like that. They try to put it on the side of the bag. He was not happy, so I'm shaking his head. He didn't like that.
One on Daniel Murphy. 1 for 3. Reached on an Alvarez error in the third. Went to third on the error by Mercer on that same play, and then scored on a 1-out single by David Wright.
It's a pretty hard slider there, 91. You throw the perfect slider right in the perfect spot, 91 miles an hour, and there's a case right there. And then he tried to even throw it harder and better. And it lost velocity and bounced it right in front of the plate. That's a little stay within yourself lesson, I think. You don't never know for a fact, but I would bet just about anything he overthrew that, trying to just be so perfect with it.
Marte over and can't either get a glove on it or hold on to it. Reaching toward the stands, and he's not happy with the fans.
Well, they're Met fans. They're not going to let you reach in there and catch something uncontested. They got their uni on. The only way you're going to make that catch is get in there and fight for it yourself. Got to be taller than everybody else.
Still 2-2 on Murphy, 96. Terry Collins trying to lead his Mets to a home series victory for the first time since April 25th, 26th, and 27th, when they took 2 of 3 from the Marlins. That was right after they took 3 of 4 from the Cardinals here in their home yard. Their 2 series wins back to back. Third week of April, they also won an opening homestand series against the Reds. That remains 3-2. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Remains 3-2 on Daniel Murphy. He has 4 hits in the series. Ryan Morris looking for a 1-2-3 inning. Charlie Morton had 1-2-3 inning in the 4th. He ends up giving up 2 runs earned at 5 1/3.
This bat has turned into quite a battle.
And another.
Pitch number 10. And he's tried everything. Up, down, in, out.
Murphy wins that battle. Bring up David Wright. Well, good news from Pirates minor leagues. Tyler Glasnow, who started the year on the disabled list, the Pirates' 5th round pick in 2011, struck out a dozen for the Bradenton Marauders this morning. 5 2/3 innings, 1 hit, 2 walks, and 12 strikeouts. A bit of a slow start for Glasnow since coming off the DL, but that's more like it.
You know, those are the 1 hit in 5 2/3 and 12 strikeouts. Those are fantastic numbers, obviously, but almost as important is that he minimizes his base on balls, because that looks like early on in his career is the thing he's going to have to work on most. Obviously, he has a phenomenal arm, but he's got to be more consistent throwing those strikes.
David Wright, a walk, RBI single, home run. The homer, by the way, his 226th of his career. He is 26 back of Darryl Strawberry for the franchise record. And then David Wright will have just about every franchise mark along with the most hits, runs, walks, RBIs. Oh and 1. No 2 count. 31 years old, Norfolk, Virginia native. He was the Mets' first-round pick in 2001. A 7-time All-Star. In his 11th season with the Mets. A couple of Gold Gloves.
I never really thought of him as a premier type home run hitter, but one of the things I think about when I think about Wright is that home run hitting contest, the All-Star Game, PNC Park. He really put on a show. He was a premier long ball hitter that day.
Yeah. You do have to wonder, Bob, how many home runs were taken away when they moved into this ballpark, Citi Field. They moved in here in 2009. The year before that, Wright had 33 homers, 30 the year before that. Bounce toward Alvarez, hugging the line, fair ball on to first in the dirt, picked by Davis. Scoreless inning of relief for Brian Morris. Pirates trail by 3. Shot from the Allegheny Health Network Supermo, and Bartolo Colon back out there. Either Terry Collins checked in with him, or he went to Terry Collins and said, "Keep me in, Skip." And Harrison jumps on the pitch. Lagares turned all the way around and still makes the catch. And we talked earlier about how shallow a center field he plays, and he raced back and gets applause from his pitcher. Fine catch from Lagares.
If you're going to go in and play shallow, you got to be able to go back on a ball and turn the wrong way at first. And, you know, normally though, Greg, that ball off a right-hand hitter is going to slice and go the other direction. So he turned really the correct way, but for some reason that ball hooked on him, and he had to make an adjustment and was right there to make the running grab.
Strike one on Neil Walker. 0 for 3. Bartolo Colon, well, the pitch count up to 110. He threw 110 pitches his first start this season, April the 2nd. And maybe Terry Collins will leave it up to him. There's a base hit to center. There is bullpen action.
I don't think Colon wants out of this. Talking to himself, and reached out and grabbed that. Earlier, I was looking down there. I saw him. He was like clapping in his glove, saying, "Hey, well, I'm all right. We're all right."
Edgin, the lefty, Familia, the righty. Perhaps Terry Collins lets him try and get McCutchen out. McCutchen is 1 for 3. Robbed of a double by David Wright last time up. McCutchen apparently not happy with that pitch. He threw 116 pitches July 21st last year. Did Colon. It's a season high.
He doesn't make any adjustments as the game goes along. I mean, he's still just throwing fastballs. One on the inside corner, one on the outside corner. That was not a fastball, I don't believe.
Sanchez maybe gets a shot. Dribbler, foul. 34,839 on hand this afternoon. As Andrew McCutchen will get another chance here against Bartolo Colon. Pirates' Tony Watson up in the pen. Colon went 8 innings his last start against the Nationals on the 17th of this month. 5 days ago, we mentioned earlier that his start against the Diamondbacks was washed out after 4 innings. Fouled out of play. He went 7 shutout innings against the Atlanta Braves April the 8th down in Atlanta. '41-year-old Bartolo Colon. Foul ball. The longer this at bat goes, the quicker the decision might be for Terry Collins. He hasn't gone this deep in terms of pitch count since June of 2005. Bartolo Colon threw 119 pitches back in June of 2005. This is his 118th pitch this afternoon, and that misses.
Again, going away from the fastball. I think that was 81. Change up, perhaps.
Bob, even his demeanor on the mound. You know, some guys late in ball game, a lot of pitches, you have to see the exasperation. Fatigue.
It's like he's not breaking a sweat.
He's been chewing the gum since the first pitch.
Yeah? Probably a new piece of gum every inning.
The rookie pitched the Monday game. That was Jacob deGrom. That was just his 3rd big league start on Monday. Here's the 120th pitch for Bartolo Colon. And another foul.
Well, this at bat right here is sealing his fate.
Yeah.
10-pitch at bat at this stage of the ball game when he's already at that point had thrown 110 pitches. This starts to take you out, take it out of you. Yeah, I know that your point's well taken, Greg, that Colon really doesn't show anything. But at this point of the game, I'm sure he's going to feel it a little bit right about now.
And a base hit. Puts runners at first and second, and here comes Terry Collins. And I would think Colon will get a nice ovation. Ike Davis will be coming to the plate. First and second, one out.
I wonder if we're going to see Gabby maybe. He finally got tired of messing with him and put one right down the middle and banged down for a base hit.
Colon will give way to the bullpen. He'll leave with 2 on. So far, a shutout, allowing just 5 hits and a standing ovation for the 41-year-old veteran as he exits. Choose 6 Pirates games throughout the summer. Guarantee your seats for sold-out games. Packages start as low as $96 each. To get your summer 6-pack, go to pirates.com/summer. Pirates will be returning to PNC Park a week from this Friday against the Milwaukee Brewers. Bartolo Colon finished for the day. 7 1/3, 5 hits, no walks, 9 strikeouts, and shutting out the Pirates, but responsible for Walker and McCutchen. And Ike Davis faces the righty, Jeurys Familia.
Interesting that they decided to let.
Bounced 4, 6, 3 double play, 1 pitch and a DP. improve on their math skills using baseball statistics. Josh Harrison helps lead the way to a victory at Yankee Stadium last weekend, and much more. Inside Pirates Baseball presented by Allegheny Health Network today after postgame on Root Sports. Pirates trailing 3-0. And Brian Morris will face Curtis Granderson in the 8th. 0-1. Bartolo Colon goes 7 1/3 innings of 5-hit shutout ball. Charlie Morton started for the Pirates, went 5 1/3, 3 runs, 2 earned. Jared Hughes, 2 outs in the 6th, and Ryan Morris a scoreless 7th. Two and 1 on the 33-year-old Curtis Granderson. It's pulled foul past Tom Goodwin. First base coach for the Mets. These Mets will be traveling to Philadelphia. 4-game series against the Phillies starts tomorrow night. And it's on to Wrigley Field against the Cubs. And then they'll head out to San Francisco to take on the Giants, a long road trip, while the Pirates go to LA and then San Diego.
A little difference in traveling schedules.
Yeah, a little bit. Morris walks Curtis Granderson.
He'll take a bus. Pirates are flying coast to coast. Pirates used to make that trip every year. Take the bus to Philly from New York.
Instead, they'll be taking a bus from LA to San Diego next week. Chris Young, his first start of this series, he has struck out, grounded out, and walked. Appeal, first base umpire said Young offered.
Be the second bus trip. Chicago, Milwaukee.
Yeah. Pirates had a bus trip. First road trip of the year. Clint Hurdle was talking to the media before the game, and remember the New York press asked him about the trying to win on the road and how the Mets have struggled at home, and he basically said, you know, just win, no excuses. Look, historically, you usually do a little bit better on home turf. Maybe not as well on the road, but if you look at the Pirates last year, one of the reasons they were successful, not only were they good at PNC Park, but they were solid on the road. Came into today's action 7-15 away from PNC Park.
The old baseball cliche is play 500 on the road and have a winning record at home. That should be enough to get you to the playoffs. That winning record has to be substantial. Can't be a game over on the road, or excuse me, at home.
Bucks won 94 games last year. On the road, they were 44-37, 50-31 at PNC Park. Close play to Granderson back, and a balk is called. Granderson goes to second on the balk call. And Brian Morris really wants to know exactly why, and it looked like Jeff Nelson not real thrilled.
They won't talk to you about balks. can discuss several things, but box is not one of them. The umpire never had one umpire one time. I asked him what I do. He said, "You know what you did."
And did you?
That was it. No, I left it at that.
Couldn't you have just said, "No, seriously, what did I do"?
No, you get thrown out.
I just want to know what I did so I don't do it next time.
They will throw you out. You keep talking about it, they'll say, you know, go to the shower and think about it. They will not let you argue about a ball.
I'm not arguing, Mr. Umpire. I'm just asking you, what did I do?
They call that arguing.
How am I supposed to learn unless you tell me?
They'll tell you that's what coaches are for. We're not here to coach you, but you know what you did. What I really used to not really like was because I would balk with my shoulder, but then they would call the balk, and all they know is I did something funny, and they would call the balk on my knee or like say I moved my foot or something. And so in my mind I know, okay, they didn't see it. They know I picked the guy off, something didn't look right, and they're just guessing. But they don't really know what it was I did. And what I did was I just shrugged my shoulder a little bit.
So you did?
Well, yeah. You can't. It's hard to pick somebody off without balking.
You did know.
Yeah.
After all. So what you said to the umpire, what did I do? He was right all along when he said, this, again, show it. You knew you had done this.
Okay, this is what you come set like this. Now, everybody, when they go home, their shoulders drop as you take your thing. So you're up like this, and if you just let some air, like that, see how your shoulders start to go down?
Just a little shrug.
Just the slightest shrug just before you go over. And they're taking the lead. They're looking for that first move. They see that shoulder just drop a half inch. Their first movement is going to be towards second. That's all you need to pick them off. And then the umpire says, wait a minute, something didn't look right. That's a balk. Not sure, but you know what you did. I have to give that one to Ray Miller. That was Ray taught me that. He taught me that in winter ball down in Puerto Rico. The shrugging of the shoulder by letting a little air out.
Duda drives one deep. And Lucas Duda pretty much puts this game away with a 2-run bomb to give the Mets a 5-0 lead. His 7th home run.
One of the longer home runs we've seen in a while. Over the bullpens. Over the bomb. This is a tough place really to hit home runs, and nobody really likes it. All of Duda's home runs, except for one, have come in this ballpark. Odd.
$5-0 Mets. Tejada 0 for 2 with a walk. One ball, one strike. Brian Morris pitched the scoreless 7th, but gives up the 2-run shot. It's the 3rd home run that Morris has allowed this season. Seven homers now for Duda and 22 runs batted in. Brian Morris, his 20th appearance of the season. 21 innings, the 3 homers. A 2-homer day for the Mets. Duda and David Wright hit a solo home run off of Morton in the 6th. Strike 3 called, 2 away.
Top edge. Now watch the ball. Where is it? It came just below the M, right across the 11. Today's game, that's a strike. Used to not be one a long time ago, but it is now. The old National League strike zone, you had to get that ball below the waist.
One on Juan Centeno. But there was going to be a shot there. They said anyway at the start of this series that Travis d'Arnaud could be activated. They're spending over a week on the DL with that concussion issue. 2-1. Chase's brother Travis d'Arnaud, a regular catcher, traded over from the Blue Jays before last season. A 2-2 count. They had John Buck here, of course. Buck was acquired by the Pirates last summer, along with Marlon Byrd. Pirates made another acquisition over the winter, getting Chris Stewart from the Yankees to back up Russell Martin. Both Martin and Stewart with time on the DL, and so Tony Sanchez, he's gotten a lot of playing time this year for Pittsburgh behind the plate. Three and two. We asked Neil Huntington on Sunday on his radio show if he believed that Tony Sanchez was going to be ready to take over the full-time catching duties next year. And said still work to be done. They like what Tony Sanchez has done to this point. He still has to work on the throwing. It's been an issue for him. Check swing, the ball in the dirt. Ball 4.
I think Tony does just about everything else. Certainly at least above average. I love the way he blocks balls. I think he's one of the best I've seen at blocking balls. His offense is very good. I thought that last year when we went out to California, they called up Tony to put him as a designated hitter. Shows you what they think of his bat. But he's got those throwing issues. He gets that straightened away, and he's going to be an awfully good catcher.
Ray Searage, another visit to the mound. That's the third walk allowed by Brian Morris here in less than 2 innings. Morton walked 4 again. That is look at what Pirates pitchers last night. Volquez walked 5 in 5 innings. Jean-Marc Gomez walked the first man he faced in the 6th, and that led to 2 runs. And 2 runs here today scored by the Mets thanks to the walk, and Familia, the pitcher. Jeurys Familia, who got the double play ball in relief of Colon and stays in the game to hit. Singles up the middle off Brian Morris. His first career hit.
Well, he put the bat down, didn't carry it, but he'll get the ball.
Second career at bat, and Familia singles to 7. Oh, how about that? Tony Watson, his first career hit.
Game 1 of the series.
Yeah.
Slashed one the other way to left. Speaking of pitchers and hitting, how about the way the Brewer game ended?
Oh my goodness, that's something. Vani Gallardo, extra innings, pinch hit, RBI double for a walk-off victory. Rob King talked about it at the start of our telecast. That game break showed it to you.
But they set it up. They had 2 outs, nobody on. Intentionally walked the winning run on base so that they could face Gallardo or whoever they were going to send up, and there was no other choice. It had to be Gallardo. And they hit the ball off the center field fence.
Strike 3 called. We'll head to the 9th. 5-0 Mets.
Monday, June 9th. Tickets are $50, and that includes a pregame painting class, the ticket to the Pirates game and Giants game. For tickets to this or any other paint party throughout the season, go to pirates.com/paintmonkey.
Wanted to make sure you read that.
I see that.
Your grandkids get involved in that.
They would
Fun
love.
for
They would love.
young and old alike. Actually.
They love painting. That's for sure. Right? They like all kinds of crafts.
Just like Grandpa.
Yeah, very crafty.
Familia going to try and finish this one up. Duda's home run. Nice insurance. Unless the Pirates rally, Charlie Morton will drop to 1-7. Bartolo Colon will improve to 4-5. Starling Marte on base twice thanks to errors by David Wright. Familia come on the opening game of the series and strike out Andrew McCutchen on Monday with 2 on and 2 out in the 7th inning. Game the Pirates rallied and won 5-3. And ground ball to second. Murphy throws out Marte. 1 out in the 9th. I wonder if Familia keeps pitching like this, if Terry Collins and consider giving him a shot in the closer's role.
They're looking for one. A few questions to be answered here. Queens.
Edgar Alvarez doubled his first at bat, struck out his last 2 times up against Cologne.
Seeing a different type of fastball now. They're in the mid-90s. '97. Almost 10 miles an hour faster. Well, 10 mile an hour faster than some of the fastballs that Cologne threw. He threw a few of them at 87. Now they're coming in at 97.
Jeurys Familia had 1 save last season. First of his big league career. He's looking for his second.
Did you see Duda try to catch that ball off the screen?
Let it go.
Not well.
Well, I don't know what his plus minus is today, but
I'll tell you what, he's still shaking his head.
Look at that glove.
Yeah. Yeah, tough time with that glove today. He made that one great play on Jordy. But he's had a few that just won't stay in the glove. The ball bounced off the dugout and came out toward him. And he tried to short hop it, clank it. Look, Greg.
Yeah, still working.
Keep hitting home runs. Live with the
offset. The home runs offset.
They offset a lot.
Yeah. Talk all you want to about the defense. That's always secondary.
You have somebody that gives you instant offense, and you'll overlook some things.
Veteran Pirate fans, I'm sure, watching now automatically say Dr. Strangeglove, Dick Stewart, one-time Pirates first baseman who supplied the power, but was constantly struggling with the glove over at first base, and thus earning that name, Dr. Strangeglove.
That's a pretty good nickname.
Yeah. Bounced off the glove, perhaps the tip of the glove, and on to first, and Duda again having trouble holding on to that baseball. See how frustrated he is with himself. There goes a base hit. Play made by Murphy.
That one didn't even bounce.
No.
Wow.
Jordy Mercer takes a strike. Allegheny Health Network Supermo. Duda doesn't get the glove down.
You know what, Jordy's on deck, and he's thinking about that ball they hit down the line hard, and he made the diving catch on.
Watches that and says, "You have to be kidding. You robbed me of a double."
And it missed about 4.
Yeah. Mercer 0 for 3. A couple of strikes on him. to second and on to first, not in time. Jordy Mercer's hitless string continues. Alvarez is erased for the second out. Jordy Mercer 0 for his last 21 at bats. Two down.
He's got to really be frustrated. And after last year, really establishing himself, because of his bat, he won that starting job. And he just can't get the offense going this year.
Strike one on Stewart. Walked his first time intentionally, struck out looking each of his last two at bats. That will give Mercer second base. Defensive indifference has Mercer at second with two outs, so 1-1 count on Chris Stewart. Popped him up on the infield. And the catch is made by Centeno. And the Mets shut out the Pirates and take the series.
That was a game that you really wanted to, maybe not needed to, but wanted to win. Take this series, you're going into that tough West Coast, going up against that pitching that the Dodgers had, but just could get nothing going on offense. The old man, Bartolo Colon, he did it to us today.
He improves to 4-1 in 6 career starts against the Pirates, about an ERA barely over 1. David Wright, Lucas Duda with home runs. Colon improves to 4-5. Charlie Morton falls to 1-7. Let's go back to Pittsburgh, the studios, and Robin T.